Greetings all. For some time now, years actually, I've been cogitating on the idea of all the things I would really like to say to male feminists, aside from the expected message to fuck off and die. I should say in getting past that basic sentiment, I don't mean this message for male feminists in a for-profit and accolades Michael Kimmel sort of way. I don't even mean it in a lumpy, stretch-marked, cellulite-laden David Futrell sort of way, though by invoking Futrell, or his twin brother Steve Shives, I am certainly getting warm. I'm just talking about and to the average guy on the street feminist, from Bart the Boomer to Marvin Millennial, to all men who qualify for a "this is what a feminist looks like" t-shirt, or who just hang around social media ready to vomit moral outrage from atop their trusty steed the moment someone raises a logical objection to the doctrine of the sisterhood. I've been meaning to talk to you guys for a long time, and it appears that the day has finally arrived. It is also quite auspicious, as events would have it, that I just stumbled on a magnificent piece of feminist opinion writing about male feminists to use in this discussion. You'll find, linked in the low bar, an advice article from the UK's Independent titled, "Men, if you really think you're a feminist, here's what to do when a woman says you're being sexist." Here's a pic of the author, Kirsty Major, showing us her cute little wrinkled-up bunny rabbit nose while sitting in what appears to be an aircraft of some kind. Now, of course, every non-feminist man on the planet knows that the title to Major's piece is largely rhetorical. We know what she's going to say can be said in fewer words than the title itself. But for you guys who hear that title and think, "Hey, great, I get to hear from a real-life feminist woman how she expects me to behave when she calls me a sexist," the rest of this talk is just for you. I'll break it down bit by bit, starting with the opening paragraph. There's a conversation I've had with men more times than I care to recount, and it goes a little bit like this, says Major. "Me, that's a sexist thing to say." "Man, me? I said something sexist? I'm not sexist, I'm a feminist. I think you're being sensitive. What I said has nothing to do with gender." "Me, you've done it again." And that ends the conversation. This debate is so stale, she continues, it makes me want to stuff bits of chewed-up beer mats into my ears so I can't hear a man telling me that he alone, as a real feminist, truly knows when the specter of sexism has entered the room. Okay, feminist men, are you listening to her? I hope so. Because to be a feminist man, one of the first things you have to know, as she has made abundantly clear, is that you can't just willy-nilly decide whether you're being sexist. You've heard it before, guys, and it appears you need a reminder. Listen to the woman. And remember that women are never overly sensitive about sexism. If she feels you're sexist, you are sexist. Instead of saying something that might be obvious to you, like that you're not a sexist, don't say anything at all. Wait for instructions on what you said, what you meant, what you think about it, and what you will do in the future. Got it? Good boy. Now let's move on with the next paragraph from Major, as she seems to be reading your mail. She says, "Maybe that episode of Girls you watched or that extract of Gender Trouble you read in your political science undergrad didn't cover this, but feminism isn't a qualification you earn once in your life and never have to think about ever again. It's not a title you bestow upon yourself. It's something you express in every interaction you have with a woman. It's an ongoing process of learning about the different ways sexism articulates itself in our daily interactions with one another. If you're not prepared to listen, you aren't a feminist. You're a woke misogynist." Now, I must delay my response to that for just a moment. I don't want any of you feminist men confused by the term woke misogynist. That term was linked in the article, so I dutifully clicked through to read an article by another feminist woman who did a hookup with an alleged male feminist who all but sexually assaulted her. Sure enough, she just wanted to make out, and he wanted to lay pipe. Despite claiming to be a feminist, he didn't take her no as serious and kept pushing until she cried. So there's a lesson here from Kirsty, which she is making as clear as the cute little wrinkled bunny nose on her face. If you insist, as a man, on knowing when you are and aren't being sexist, you are not only not a feminist, you are a rapist. Hey, that's her words, not mine. Listen to the woman. Got that? Good boy. Let's move on. Next, she says, if you do want to be a feminist and you find yourself in a conversation with a woman who says she feels that you have said something sexist, here's a few pointers on how to deal with it. First of all, if you are more upset about being told that you're being sexist than actually thinking about the problem that has been raised, it means that you are more upset about defending your own ego than validating the experience of the woman in front of you. Sounds a lot like sexism, right? Okay, Major is really hammering the point home, boys. Now, if I were talking to MRAs, I would say she is beating a dead horse that did not deserve a beating to begin with, but I am not talking to MRAs. I am talking to you, and I don't want to set a bad example. So, she is just being thorough, even though this should be simple. Just remember that giving women the final word, regardless of how long it takes them to get there, even on matters happening within your own mind, is part of what qualifies you as a male feminist. She will tell you when to be upset or offended, and you can bet it will never be because of anything she said. As a male feminist, you must never assume to be the arbiter of your own mind or heart. As a man, you're flat stupid about that stuff anyway, like moron-level stupid, and it is pretty arrogant, after all, to act like you know more about you than she does. Never let yourself forget that as a man, you have never experienced sexism. I know, some of you woke misogynists might even conclude a female telling all men when to talk, what to feel, and when to shut up is kinda, sexist. But that kind of thinking is just your mansplaining kicking in. Trust me, I have asked real feminist women whether it is sexism when they tell all men to shut up and listen as they define you, and to the last one they have assured me it is not. It is just them telling the truth, which of course only they as women are privy to. No sexism in that at all. And lucky for you, as feminist men, you never have to be confused about the truth. All you have to do is wait for women like Kirsty Major to point it out. Got that? Very good boy. Let's keep going. I know you think you get feminism, says Major, putting get feminism in scare quotes, but even feminist women mess up. I say sexist stuff all the time. Once in a Muay Thai boxing class, I said, I kick like a girl, a comment so cliché that I'm actually ashamed of my own lack of imagination. Someone told me I was being sexist, and you know what? I didn't complain with, oh my God, I'm the least sexist person ever, I'm a woman. Instead, I said, yeah, you're right, my bad. You know why? Because I know the patriarchy has a nasty habit of lodging itself into your brain, and I'm really glad when someone drags it into sight. Now, guys, I bet you were really shocked at this point. I know you were expecting perfection and were likely triggered when Major revealed that she had said something as egregious as I kick like a girl. I know that some men, not men like you, or even woke misogynists, would have taken this the wrong way. MRAs, for example, even the female ones with all their internalized misogyny, would have said something really stupid like, well, hey, you are a girl. But I know we don't have to worry about your saying something so hateful. You're not like MRAs. That is because patriarchy has dug in like an infestation of ticks in their heads, causing brain damage. That's the difference between MRAs and men like you. You have less patriarchy ticks. Some of you only have a few, but patriarchy ticks are stubborn little critters. You just have to remember that female feminists have few or even no patriarchy ticks. It is much better to rely on their brains because they have less holes in them. Got it? Good boy. Now for the next paragraph of Major's article. If a woman is saying you're being sexist, she admonishes, you definitely have to listen because you've never lived life as a woman and don't know what it is like to face sexism every single waking hour of your life. It is so tedious. While sexism is theoretical to you, it is oh so very real to us. So at least listen to what we have to say. Be thankful that the women around you don't think of you as a lost cause because behind every woke man is an exhausted feminist you need to thank. Okay, guys, now that was something really important to listen to. I mean, really, 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 all caps, really important to listen to. We already knew that you are generally clueless when it comes to sexism. Here, Major explains why. It's because you have never experienced it except perhaps in the abstract. Just like feminist Catherine Spiller in the Red Pill movie said from her office in Beverly Hills, men don't face discrimination in any form. Trying to get a man to understand sexism is like trying to get a chimpanzee to understand calculus, only harder. That is why all men must shut up and defer in the presence of women, to avoid being even more sexist. And just like she says, all men should be grateful that any woman puts up with them at all. And because of men's complete obtuseness, women are just wearing themselves out trying to teach those stupid, clueless men what sexism is all about. Do you get that? Do you? Well, you better. And don't expect to hear good boy every time you accidentally get something right. Now sit there with your trap shut and let's move on. You're no longer in denial, she says, and you have successfully reached step 2. This gets a bit rocky. You actually have to listen to the person who says you've been sexist and think about it. You don't have to hold your hands up, get down on your knees, and pray for mercy from your feminist overladies. Maybe you didn't realize until now that you were being sexist. That's okay. Sexism is so deeply woven into the very fabric of our being that sometimes you can't see it. The patriarchy isn't something we opt in and out of. It's always there. It's the white noise humming in the background of every interaction. If you still can't see it or understand it, at least acknowledge that the other person did and listen to what they have to say. Okay, I know some of you think she's just repeating herself. Just know it is necessary, as even the best pets can have short attention spans. You can trust she is telling you all this for your own good. After all, you must have been on the internet long enough to see what happens to people who don't listen to feminists. Perhaps there's some chance even that watching what has happened to people who don't listen to feminists led you to become one. If so, you are a minority. Most men become feminists because deep down inside, they want to be good boys. Sure, they piss the rug and whine at night for attention, but as you can see in a feminist's own words, you can still find yourself being tolerated, even praised and rewarded from time to time if you do your honest best to defer with your mouth shut and learn all about what real sexism is. Do you understand that? Good boy. You're a very good boy. Now we can finish. If you're still denying it even happened, says Mistress Major, talking about your sexism, of course, then straight to the bloke not woke jail. Do not pass go. If you've accepted that it happened, you listened to why we felt that what you had to say was sexist, and you've taken it on board, then you are on your path to actually being a feminist. Because guess what? Feminism is something you do, not an abstract label you appropriate because women think it's hot. All I can say, guys, is that I really hope you're listening. Kirsty Major, no doubt speaking for all feminists, is painting the clearest path possible for a successful life as a male feminist. I see many of you walking that path all the time. Some of you are so well trained, it is quite impressive. So you guys who still need a few more swats with the newspaper to get in line with your male feminist brothers who are more accomplished, please take heed of the warnings that one of your feminist betters was so generous to provide for you. Don't end up in bloke not woke jail. Mind, damn it. When she rubs your nose in it, even if you're 1,000% certain that you did not pee the carpet, just keep telling yourself, the pee is real. I can smell the pee. Say it over and over again till you actually can smell the pee. Feminists are quite vocal these days about needing male allies. From the United Nations to almost every college campus across North America, the call is out for men to step up and heft some weight in the feminist cause. Kirsty Major just gave you a glowing example of how you can expect to be treated for your efforts. And I am sure, given the kind of man who becomes a male feminist, you'd call it a bargain, the best you ever had. And you do things that way because of everything she wrote. That last line was the deal maker for most of you. It's the line about how women think your male feminism is hot. That is so true. As anyone knows, women flock in herds to weak, servile men who mind women no matter what, with no thought to their own dignity. That is what feminist women seek, and you are just the kind of man to fill the bill. After all, just as the woman said, that is why you became a feminist to begin with, isn't it? Isn't it? Good boy. And that is it for today's talk. I am ending with an announcement for all my subscribers. I have uploaded this video first to my account at minds.com. There's a link in the low bar, and I will be uploading all future videos there as well as to YouTube. Please feel free to follow me there, and you will find a bonus surprise video that is not on YouTube at minds.com when you go there to follow me. When YouTube outlives its usefulness, as it inevitably will, all my work will continue at minds.com. Till then, I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.